Hello everyone, welcome to Super Coaching UPSC by Textbook. This is Venkatesh, your faculty for geography. In this session, I'm going to discuss about a very important person in our agriculture history, especially after our independence, MS Swaminathan, the person who was recently awarded even the Bharat Ratna. Unfortunately, we lost him last year, but definitely the contributions he made to our agriculture, he will be significantly remembered, especially at the hearts of our farmers. So let us understand what is his main contribution towards our agriculture, and considering that he was awarded the Bharat Ratna, he was also lost his life last year. He left us maybe hoping for the best, or he left us maybe as part of your body, but his contributions will always live with us. Considering these two events, there is a possibility that they can ask about questions about MS Swaminathan this year in the mains. Also, you can use his contributions in essays and various other topics in our exam. So with that idea into consideration, I have wanted to discuss about whatever his contributions. Now let's see. We all know that MS Swaminathan was regarded as the father of the Green Revolution in India. Now, you need to understand the times where he was part of it. So, 1940s, in fact, there was around something called as Bengal Famine. Bengal Famine, 1943. This Bengal Famine of 1943 is one of the prime event which has actually changed which is known for the worst thing which a system can do, especially the British India back then. So after the famine, the lack of food has also triggered MS Swaminathan to become a farmer, to wanted to solve the cause of hunger. So his contribution was in such a way that he brought the high yielding variety of seeds and all the things, Green Revolution, right? We turned from a begging bowl famine country towards agricultural surplus country, right? So it is because of his contributions, the contributions of Green Revolution. So from a grain deficit nation, he has helped to achieve the concept of food security. So you need to understand that the first 2 decades of our independence were having significant impact with respect to famines, droughts, all such kind of things, where feeding our population was a big challenge. This was also the time where you have seen that many of our people, the country was also in terms of population was jumping like anything. In fact, it is a phase of explosion of our population. And at that point of time, we have seen this kind of challenge. So considering this kind of a challenge, this was the time period where many of the experts around the world, they have worried about the very survival of our country. Can it also be part with such famines and droughts and loss of life? Can such country even continue be part of the parliamentary democracy which we are part of? But we have passed all these stages, and we have achieved to the present stage. So we need to understand the contribution of MS Swaminathan in this role. So he has been a pioneer phase of the father of the Green Revolution. We need to understand the benefits of the Green Revolution. So when you talk about the benefits of Green Revolution, it refers to the multiple crops growths in the crop production in the third world countries based on the use of modern inputs, technologies, high yielding variety of seeds, farm mechanization and irrigation facilities. So it is a revolution which has changed our agriculture. So what has changed? How it was done? You need to understand that MS Swaminathan was pioneered in terms of bringing high yield variety of seeds, especially of the wheat, right? So he was the face of bringing wheat revolution. And once the high yielding variety seeds are there, green revolution was important because the high yielding variety of seeds, they cannot be provided with respect to the they cannot increase their productivity, the yield levels, without the supply of the artificial fertilizers. So they are dependent on chemical fertilizers. Once they are dependent on chemical fertilizers, because you are using the chemical, you have to be dependent on water to dilute the chemicals, otherwise that is a challenge. So look at the amount of inputs. You have to provide high yielding variety of seeds so that your productivity and production would improve. Productivity would improve. Then chemical fertilizers has to be provided because the soil is not having enough amount of fertilizers to support it. Then we need water to dilute it. If you are using water, they are prone to pest attacks, so pesticides has to be provided, and all such kind of things. Keeping this into consideration, we call this agriculture green revolution as what? Even input revolution. But the success of input revolution was in such that our food grain production have significantly improved. You can see here, at the time of independence, our food grain production was around 50 million tons. You can remember it as, okay, this is as part of the 15 million tons, 50 million tons. From 50 million tons, by around 1970s, you see, it is around 100 million tons. So until 1960s, there was not much of it. So after this green revolution, which was brought forward from 1965, we have seen significant growth in our food production, especially rice and wheat. The food production has increased, and presently we are at around 330 million tons. So last year estimates, they have shown you that India has record food production of 330 million tons. You have 330 million tons, it is because of the continuous production which we have seen. Are you following, all of you? Are you following? Let me see the comments. Right, yes. So you have seen that 330 million tons was achieved. Not just that, our food production has increased. What we have also found out that because of the green revolution, what happened was we have achieved food security. We have achieved the self-sufficiency in food grains, especially rice and wheat. We also have started exporting our agriculture goods to different parts of the world. We even started the exports. For example, right now, basmati rice. The revolution of the contribution of MS Swaminathan has a huge role to play in all of these dimensions. It is not just even around one dimension. So all of this. Then see, once MS Swaminathan has contributed to the green revolution, the green revolution has prospered, food security was achieved. It was also not like it doesn't have any challenges. With time, we also had the concerns with respect to the sustainable agriculture, whether this green revolution is sustainable or not. At that point of time, the contribution of MS Swaminathan gone beyond the second green revolution, where he used the word evergreen revolution. Evergreen revolution. What do you mean by evergreen revolution here? Where he was focusing about, see, for the green revolution, we also had some kind of negative challenges. What are the negative challenges? Negative or the concerns of green revolution. What are the concerns green revolution has put forward? One, excessive dependence on chemical fertilizers. Chemical fertilizers. Because of more inputs and all, it has increased the cost of production, brought a gap between rich and poor farmers. Now, these are all negative challenges. So the farmers who are dependent on our agriculture, they are now the rich farmers have the more adaptability and the skills to get benefits out of this. The agriculture credit and all, they are able to get benefits out of that. Whereas the poor farmers were not able to get because the agriculture model has changed. At that point of time, also the soil also has found significant concerns with respect to the utility of the chemical fertilizers. Considering all these kind of things, what have you seen was there was so much amount of negative trends also about green revolution. In fact, even it has become crop specific, especially of wheat and rice. What about other crops? At that point of time, he coined the word sustainable agriculture, evergreen revolution, where we have to make our agriculture sustainable only by focusing on organic farming, by focusing on reduction about the intensity of the chemical fertilizers and all these kind of things. So he also has contributed to that. So promotion of sustainable agriculture. He talked about the sustainability in agriculture. And at the time of sustainability, he also talked about the viability of our agriculture, especially of the small farmers and even about the women farmers as well. During his days in Rajya Sabha, he has fought for even for the viability of smallholder farmers, how we can empower them, how we can provide the even for the women farmers, how we can provide agriculture support, how we can provide various services to him, to the farmer. All these things he was formulated. And he is also very famous for, say for example, the growth of agricultural institutes. See, there is a famous saying, no, that famous saying is that agriculture, you have to develop leaders in such a way that the very necessity of the leaders is lost. He was a replica of that. So in that way, he wanted to develop certain good qualitative institutes which are dealing with agriculture, so that the research, whether you talk about the agriculture research, whether you talk about development of the institutions which take care of the agriculture in general, he wants to have a significant say. In fact, be his work at Indian Council of Agriculture Research or International Rice Research Institute at Manila, Philippines, he has significantly contributed to the institutions of agriculture. Okay, so he was also instrumental in bringing around the International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics, ICRISAT, International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics, ICRISAT. He was also instrumental in that. So he was instrumental in variety of things, especially in terms of agriculture institutions. This is a very important step. That institutions are the torch bearers of the future prospects. They will be guiding in terms of the limelight, in terms of research, advancement in technologies and all. And in this angle, contributions of M.S. Swaminathan cannot be ignored. Not just that, through his empowerment and all, he was also focused on policy making. He was part of even National Commission for Farmers, National Commission for Farmers, where he spoke about what kind of policy making we can do it for the overall benefit of our agriculture in India, the farmers, especially the poor, especially the agriculture labor, the small and marginal holders. That's what we talk about, smallholder farmers, which happens to be the majority of the agriculture in our country, right? So when you talk about MS Swaminathan, he is beyond the green revolution. He is beyond the contribution is beyond green revolution. You need to understand every aspect of it. He also spoke about sustainable agriculture in rice. For example, how rice can become sustainable in terms of utilizing the water, how it can have a significant say. He also focused on such kind of things across all the 5 things. These are the things which we need to take into considerations when you analyze about the contributions of MS Swaminathan. Okay, so you can talk about how we have become a grain deficit nation, from a grain deficit nation of 1940s, 50s, how we have achieved food security. This is the idea of a green revolution. How the food grain production has increased where famines were no longer the thing. How we have moved towards from the begging bowl to a bread basket. This is an important word, from the begging bowl to bread basket, where you can see the wheat increased from around 24 million tons in 1970-71, right, so to the presently around 100 million tons. Now it's all contribution to the steps which have taken as part of the green revolution. And you can also see that the productivity of the land can also increase because the yield per unit of agriculture land increased by more than 30%. You see, these are the things which we have achieved, especially when India's population was also exploding, not just growing but also exploding. So that was the era where his contribution cannot be neglected. That is the reason why he was awarded with respect to the Bharat Ratna, right? I hope you all have understood about his contributions, how his contribution is beyond the green revolution, how institutions he has flourished and all such kind of things, right? For more such information about MS Swaminathan and the PDF file of today's discussion, and in general about any doubts about geography, you can always interact with me in my Telegram channel, where I'll be discussing the doubts, where you can directly interact with me. There will be lots of quizzes, polls, videos, strategy videos, and all such kind of things in the Telegram channel. You can watch that. Hope you all have understood this. Thank you for watching. And a very Jai Hind all of you, and also a very, very happy learnings all of you. Thank you.